So to get us started, just give you a brief overview of the group effort initiative. My name is Sarah. I'm one of the program coordinators with GEI, and I support our participants on the corporate side with internship and entry-level placements. And I'll let Em introduce herself.
Hi, my name's Em. I work on the production side. I'm also a program coordinator. And I also work on the mentorship program that we have. And then I'll hand it back to Sarah.
Yeah, for sure. Awesome. And we'll dig a little bit deeper into our roles and, how we support our participants on our respective sides. So yeah, and just to shout out my college, I'm also a CSU alum. I'm wearing my Fullerton shirt today, or sweater. So thank you all again for joining, especially if you're from Philly. Okay, so to kick us off, for our agenda. So we'll talk a little bit about our story, how we got started, our mission, what our goals are, what kind of offerings do we have in our program, a little bit about our team. Again, you can see who else we have on our team, and then go into some of the requirements that we have of our participants and expectations, and then talk a little bit about the educational events that we host, and then dig deep into the job placement process and how we work on the corporate and production side, and then provide opportunity for Q&A for you all. So yeah, that's what's in store for this. So let me move forward. Okay, so just to give you all an overview of how we got started, GEI was launched in August 2020 by Reynolds and Blake Lively. They do not play a huge role in the day-to-day. They mostly provide the seed funding that we need to thrive, but they kicked it off in November 2020 with the Adam Project in Vancouver. GEI hired about 8 trainees to work on that project. And they had a chance to work production assistant roles, and so that was on the production side. And then in June 2021, GEI absorbed the Evolve Entertainment Fund. That was an initiative, a program under former Eric Garcetti, mayor of LA. And with Evolve, there was more focus on the corporate side and helping young Angelinos get opportunities, internship and entry-level opportunities in the entertainment industry. So the two merged, and now we are officially GEI. And in April 2022, we earlier this year, we relaunched with our logo and revamped our website. So please check that out as well. All of the information, that we're sharing about our story is on there as well. Yeah, so now we work holistically on the corporate and production side, offering opportunities to our participants. And so our mission, again, we strive to create a pipeline for members of underrepresented communities to get real experience toward lasting careers within the entertainment industry. And we use the term underrepresented very broadly, intentionally, to be as inclusive as you can. We serve folks, people of color, people with disabilities, folks in the LGBTQ community, folks that were former foster youth, homeless, and are formerly incarcerated and are trying to re-enter the workforce. So again, we work with various populations and folks from all different backgrounds. And just to provide you with some metrics of our placements, we've been able to place about 735 folks in internships since 2018, 138 since PA positions we've been able to secure. We've worked with about 95 partner productions, and then also been able to secure 85 corporate full-time placements. So just to give you an idea of our metrics. And then again, so going back to our program offerings, beyond offering and promoting paid opportunities to our participants on the internship and entry level side, we also have a mentorship program that and we'll talk a little bit more about later, that we also just launched recently last week. So that's also very exciting. And then again, we host a variety of educational opportunities throughout the year. So beyond placement process, which we'll get into, we also have these other offerings in our program. And so again, a little bit about our team. We have our executive director, Sumi Parek, and then we have Melissa, who is our program manager. Again, I support Melissa on the corporate internship and entry level side. And then we have Fevin and Em on the production side. So, if you're interested in applying and you have a specific question about a certain side of the industry, corporate or production, I'm more than happy to, direct your questions to either of us. And then again, at the end of the Q&A, if you have any questions specifically about either side, Em and I can definitely answer them. All right, and I think I will throw it to Em for the next part.
Right, so there are some requirements and expectations. Next slide, Sarah. Okay, so I don't know if it's just me, but is that like frozen to you, Sarah?
I can see the
This
next
slide?
slide.
Okay, it's like frozen like in between half. It might be it's okay, there we go. Now it's showing it properly. Okay, so the requirements are pretty simple. We're not very like exclusive. We try to include everyone. So we want our participants to belong to an underrepresented community. That's a very broad term that we use. It could mean women filmmakers, people of color, LGBTQ plus communities. We have participants that are part of the disabled community, foster youths, formerly incarcerated folks. It's a very broad term that we use. The submit.com application is pretty simple. It's just, there's two different tracks, and we'll get into that more. Sorry about the sirens going by, but there's two different tracks. One is for the internship, one is for if you're interested in production. So you're going to submit one application. You're going to upload your resume. You're going to complete an interview. A video interview is pretty simple and it's straightforward. It's just asking you two questions about your personal journey and then your near-term and long-term goals. And then it is highly encouraged that you also include your COVID-19 vaccination with a booster shot preferably. So a lot of productions do require vaccinations and boosters. So that's just a requirement that is set by productions, and a lot of in-person events also require that as well. Next slide. What to expect. So once you apply, we will review your application. Everyone gets accepted, so it's nothing to worry about. Accepted applicants are placed into tiers. So tier 1 means you're job ready, and tier 2 just means you just need a little bit of polishing on your submittable materials. So maybe your video wasn't the best, maybe your resume just needs a little bit of tweaking. The tiers are mostly just designed to give our applicants the best chance to stand out during the hiring process so that they can hopefully get job placements. So the tiers, if you're placed in tier 2, that just means that we're going to work with you to make sure that your materials are the best that they can be so that you can really stand out during the hiring process. Next slide. We already went over there we go. Educational events. We also host lots of educational events because, as I was saying previously, we want our participants to stand out. So we do educational events. Most of them are professional development events so that they can stand out. And we host these a lot of the times with our corporate and production partners. So we've hosted, most of these are virtual because we do know that our participants are all over the United States, lots of different cities. So we try to host them virtually. We do host a few in person, but we do try to make them virtual. We have this annual boot camp that we're doing every year, and it's this really big boot camp. This year was in person. It was in Santa Monica, and had lots of panels with industry professionals, guest speakers, and network opportunities. And there was also a mock interview during the boot camp. So really, we all just like gather and really try and let our participants network with one another and listen to these industry professionals speak about their experiences just to kind of give them, these opportunities. Next slide. We also had Banijay America's site visit. Banijay's Americas is one of our production partners, and they also do a lot of production related things. They have lots of subsidiaries that we work with as well. And it was just a site visit, lots of panels, again, with industry professionals, speakers. There was also a Disney resume and interview workshop. So that one was an in-person event. Pretty much everyone met at the Disney site, and then they did lots of professional development things like reviewing their resume, practicing interview skills, stuff like that. Next slide. And I was speaking earlier about the virtual events. We do try to make sure that everyone has accessibility. So some of the virtual events that we've hosted this year, we had a prop workshop with Mikey Trudell, who is the prop master for American Horror Stories. And participants were able to come up with their own mood board, and then Mikey reviewed it virtually with each participant. So he gave them direct feedback, and they did lots of script breakdowns for props, stuff like that. And then we had a UTA mock interview. So UTA hosted this interview session where participants were broken out into groups, and then they just worked on their interview skills. And then we have a production boot camp upcoming. It's going to be on December 3rd. It's very much like the annual boot camp, but it's more tailored for our participants that are more interested in production. So there will be a virtual option. As of right now, the in-person event is unfortunately full. It filled up really quickly just because there's a lot of interest in it. But we're going to be doing lots of panels with people from Netflix. We're going to be doing an in-person PA training that's going to be very focused on learning how to be a PA, learning how to be on set etiquette, stuff like that. And then it's also going to have a panel about commercials from the Martin agency. So it's going to be a really like packed day, and also some networking stuff because that's important. Next slide. Okay, the job placement process. Next slide, please.
All right. All right. So I'll talk a little bit about the corporate side and how we, connect folks with our company partners. So we work on a year-round basis, and we also accept folks on a year-round basis with GEI. So if you're not interested in applying right now, you can definitely apply, around summertime, fall, all that good stuff. Right now, I'm sourcing a lot of folks for spring opportunities. So again, if you're looking for an internship opportunity, I know a lot of CSU campuses can require that for academic credit as well. So again, if that's something of your interest, and again, we also only offer paid opportunities to our participants. We don't advocate for unpaid roles. So again, if you're interested, highly recommend it. I'm hyping it up because again, I'm sourcing a lot right now for internship for the spring and summer. So if you're interested, again, here are a little bit of the requirements. Candidates have to be currently enrolled in 2 or 4 year educational institution, which you all are. You have to be available part-time, at least 10 hours a week, and then having work authorization to work in the US for internships specifically. And then for entry-level positions, if you're graduating in the spring and you're already starting and you want to start looking for roles, highly recommend to start looking 2 to 3 months before your graduation date. So you have something ready and you're in the process, before and not after you graduate. Recent graduates and others looking for full-time roles, highly recommend for entry-level positions that we have. And then having that full-time availability is important. And then again, having that work authorization to work in the country. So just to give you an idea of the folks that we work with and where we've been able to place our participants. So we have company partners like All3A, A24, Apple TV, CAA, Disney, DreamWorks, Maximum Effort, NBC Universal, Paramount, United Talent Agency, WME. So again, working with some of the big entertainment companies in the industry. Again, this list is not just, we have over 250 company partners. So chances are, if you're interested in a company, we most likely have a contact with them. So this list is not exhaustive of all the folks that we partner with. And then we've been able to have our participants placed in different departments like animation, casting, development, production, marketing, talent agency and representation, post-production, social media, communications, PR, human resources, even music. I am, again, sourcing for folks. So if you're interested in any of those areas, definitely highly recommend looking into the internship application because we are consistently sourcing folks through the spring, summer, and fall. And then just also always want to say that with a caveat that the job placement is not guaranteed. We act more of our team acts as an intermediary between our company partners and participants. So while we, send them your materials, it's ultimately up to the company partners to decide who they want to interview and when they want to interview. So just keep that in mind. And I'll hand it over to Em for production.
Right, so for production opportunities, mostly we work with PA roles. So the way that looks is one of the production partners will come to us and they'll say, hey, we're looking for a PA assistants. Sometimes there are specialized departments where they want PAs that are interested in the costumes department, or they're interested in the AD department. Most of what we do is general on-set PAs though, and the way that looks on your end is that me or my coworker Fevin, we work on the production side, and we reach out to our participants, and we just, depending on the production, so some productions have different requirements. So as I spoke about earlier, most want fully vaccinated folks with a booster shot. That is very common. A lot of productions do want driver's license. That's not always a requirement. Most of them do want full-time availability. Again, that's the most common, but it's not always set in stone that way. And just once you apply online, just specify your department interest so that we know what you're interested in, and you can be interested in lots of different departments, just so whenever a production does come to us, and if they're looking for PAs in a certain department, then we know that you're at least interested in that department. Next slide. So as I was saying earlier, there's lots of different departments. Some of them include props, camera, VFX, health and safety, that's a big one. Art, set decoration, sound. So those are some of the departments, and these are some of the companies as well. These are the bigger ones like Netflix, Disney, Paramount, Banijay, Vendetta Entertainment, Maximum Effort. So those are some of the companies that we work with and do provide PA candidates for, and have had our participants be hired on some of those sets. Next slide. And office hours, this is something that we do since GEI can be confusing sometimes. There's so many different things that we offer, and there's so many different types of processes that occur, and people can set up office hours if they have any questions about what we do at GEI, how the submission process works, and also their job materials. So if you want to review your resume or cover letter with us, then we offer that, because as I've stated previously, we are very concerned and interested in making sure that our participants have the best chance of getting these job placements. So we just help polish up resumes. We help with interview preparations, any type of professional development skills. We offer one-on-one time with me or anyone on the GEI team that we do office hours with, just to kind of help you guys prepare whatever materials you have concerns about. Next slide. The mentorship program. As of right now, the mentorship program is about 125 mentors and mentees. The mentees are from our program, and the mentors are from lots of different partners that we have, such as Netflix, Disney, Maximum Effort, Paramount. They come from our mentors come from a variety of backgrounds. So some of them work in marketing, some of them work in advertising, some of them are human resources at Netflix. A few of them are writers and directors. Some own their own production companies or their own media companies. So we have a good variety of mentors who are just helping our mentees work on their professional development and talk about how they got their start, and kind of give them an in-depth look at how to build their own career, set their own goals for their mentorship program, and just for their personal goals in the entertainment industry, and to kind of help them work on things like networking, since most of our participants don't know people in the industry. So our mentors are kind of helping bridge that gap between being entry level and just working on their professional development to have long lasting careers in the entertainment industry. Next slide.
All right. And so if you are interested in applying, I know we're already getting that question, feel free to scan these QR codes. We have the internship application again on the left side, and then entry level and production assistant application. If you are, I would suggest to, if you're still in school for a couple more years, definitely internship one is the one you'll most likely use. And then if you're graduating soon and already trying to look for entry level, or if you're interested in production assistant opportunities. But again, please note that for most of these, you should have full-time availability. So for that application. And again, if you have any other questions beyond, we'll take questions in a bit, but if you have any questions after the session, feel free to reach out to us on our admin email, and we'll definitely get back to you. But with that said, I'll leave it to questions, but I'll leave the slide up in case folks want to scan those QR codes. I'll just start grabbing questions as well from the Q&A. So let me see. So when will I be notified which tier I am in? So when you apply, you'll, I think in one of the slides, just give us 5 to 7 business days to get back to you with, your acceptance into GEI and then what tier. So in that introduction email, you should receive what tier you're in. And then is there an age limit? No, there is no age limit to be in our program. You just have to be over 18 because most of our job opportunities ask folks to be above that age. So yeah. Let's see, how and will I get notified if GEI sees a job that's fit for you? For the corporate side, we usually will share our job opportunity. We have a job opportunity, a job board, so you can apply to those positions directly and then let us know through a resume forward request form that we have. But if we are sourcing, when you apply, you'll get a chance to, say what categories you're interested in the industry. So you can see that. And then we use that on our end to find folks that, to match folks with opportunities. So yeah. And office hours. So office hours are monthly and they're for our participants. So when you apply, you'll have the opportunity to do that. We host them monthly and it's divided up between us four, Melissa, Fev, and Em and I. We meet with our folks. Yeah, so that's how you do that. So we offer the monthly and we send out a form to sign up with us for that. And then how to apply to GI, feel free to scan the QR code. What I say, people who've had more luck scoring a job when partnered with GI. We have very strong partnerships with our company partners. We have we have a formal partnership with Netflix and Banerjee Americas for production assistant opportunities. So having GEI on your resume and being a part of this program definitely gives you more access and exposure to the industry that if you weren't a part of it you might not have. So beyond just job placement opportunities, just having that access is super helpful, because you'll have opportunities to meet with folks, attend events and whatnot. So it's what you make of it in the program. But yeah. Is there a deadline? There is no deadline. So like I said, we're constantly accepting applications on a rolling basis, so year round. So if you don't feel like you want to apply right now, I highly do suggest it though, because again, we share a lot of resources and a lot of offerings to our participants. So while you might not be looking for a job, just being on our listserv can help a lot if you're interested in certain aspects of the industry. Let's see. Yeah, so the tiers, again, the tiers are sort of a trial and error that we just implemented. We just found that we've been having a lot of newer folks jump into our program, which is great. We want to provide that inclusive access to the industry, but we want to be able to make sure that we help our participants feel more professionally developed before submitting them to job opportunities. So if you are in tier 2, it's not to negatively impact anyone. It's just to provide more assistance to those, like by helping you with your resume, helping you with interview questions and whatnot. So that's the purpose of the tiers. If you're not in LA, yeah, you can still definitely apply. Something we always emphasize are if you're not currently in LA right now, LA is our biggest market since our team is all based here. And this is mainly where we find for internship and corporate opportunities. We have worked in San Francisco, I think a little bit for production, and can talk about this too. So, we have had a presence there, but not as much as LA. Of course, LA is our biggest area. So if you're not in LA right now, but you will be, feel free to just, apply and let us know, keep us updated on availability and whatnot. So yeah, let's see. You do not have to, do you have to be a film major is another question. You do not have to be a film major. We have folks that are studying communications, public relations, business, human resources, all that stuff. So again, like the areas that I had mentioned before, you don't have to be a film major.
And also you don't have to graduate college or go to college. Obviously, this is more for college students, but it's not a requirement.
Yeah. All right. How long do the PA jobs that you all typically receive last, and how often do you receive these opportunities? Do you want to answer that, Em?
Yeah, so the PA jobs we receive various PA jobs. So some of them are for only like a day. Like we get a few requests for commercial PAs, and obviously commercials will film for like a day or two, maybe a week at most. I think we've gotten a few music video requests, so those are also short term. And we have most PA jobs last for at least a few weeks to a few months. I would say like average is maybe like 4 months. So it really just depends. We receive a variety of requests, and I think the longest one that I've seen since working here has been one for like 2 years. So it really just varies.
Awesome. Okay. All right. We'll move on to the next question. If we're graduating this fall but don't walk until spring, can we still apply for these opportunities? Yes. Yeah. So again, we just also want to be a resource if you can't, if you're, not eligible for certain job opportunities, and we'll let you know as well. But we always try to keep that line of communication open too. But again, if there's other internship opportunities, sometimes we do have internship opportunities for recent grads. It's not as common as, for folks that are still in school, but again, we do our best to communicate that. And when we're sourcing folks and when we're doing outreach. So yeah, you can definitely still apply to be in the program. Will these positions be available in the summer? Yes. So, we productions works a lot quicker and asks for a quicker turnaround. But on the corporate side, we are already starting to source for summer. So yeah, so we have positions available already. And then can you apply for entry level PAs even though even though I graduated last year? Yes. Yeah, so that I'm encouraged because if you have that full-time availability, that's even better. You graduate in December, can you still apply? Yes, you can still apply. Yes, what are underrepresented groups? If you're Asian American and woman, first and family in the industry, yes, you're able to apply to our program. So again, we keep a very broad definition of underrepresented. So we're helping folks, people of color, people in the LGBTQ community, people with disabilities. So yeah, we're working with a variety of populations. So yes, you would be eligible. Are there any opportunities abroad in Europe or Asia? I do not think so. No, we don't. We do not offer, yeah, all the job opportunities that we offer. And when we are looking for folks, we do it locally. So if an opportunity comes up in San Francisco for a PA opportunity, we look for folks that are based in San Francisco since we want to offer those opportunities to folks that are already there. Same with LA. So yeah, does the application require a portfolio? No, but you're welcome to include that on your resume. It depends on the positions that you're applying for, if they ask for it, but yeah, you can have it on your resume, but no need for the application. Is a program primarily online minus the jobs and internships? So we offer, again, we do virtual events, but we are trying to transition to more in-person events. Our production boot camp will be in person. We're hoping to do more in-person events. So yeah, let's see. Do you need a lot of experience for entry-level positions? It depends on the position. If it's like a coordinator role for, development, probably having a few internships under your belt is helpful. But again, we have a wide variety of opportunities available. So, it just depends on the position.
And I will say for that, most of the productions and the corporate companies that are partnering with us, they know who we are and who we serve. So they're very open to people who maybe don't have experience because that's kind of what we're about. We're about helping people get their foot in the door. So you don't necessarily have to have experience.
Right. Okay, we have another question. In regards to having a driver's license, I do not have one due to having epilepsy. Would that ruin my chances for PA opportunities? I'll let you handle this one.
No, that doesn't ruin your chances for PA opportunities. Like I said earlier, not all productions require a driver's license. It really just depends on the tasks that they're asking for PAs. So we do have a lot in certain cities more than others, like New York, they're not going to require a driver's license as much because there is public transportation. As far as LA and the California cities, it is more common that they ask for a driver's license, but it's not always a requirement, so it doesn't ruin your chances. There's still an opportunity there.
Mhm. All right. And then another question, do you need to apply to either, or can you apply to both internship and entry level positions? We ask that you only fill out one application because our system can handle duplicate. It just gets very, very confusing. So yeah, so depending on where you're at currently, if you're still in school for a couple more semesters, stay in the internship one. Even if you're if you're looking for opportunities for next semester, stay in the apply to the internship one. If you have that full-time availability, apply to the entry level one. So yeah, and once you graduate as well too, we always do our best to communicate with our participants. Like once we know that folks are about to graduate, we reach out to you and like, hey, we were going to transition you over, fill out the entry level one. So we do our best to communicate that with folks. Is there training or a majority of free workshops and industry events to provide opportunities and let companies know about our resumes? So all the I'll do my best to answer this question, but all of the events that we offer are free. All of our events are free. To join the program is free. In terms of industry events where you can meet with our company partners, our boot camp was a really good opportunity for folks to talk to our partners then. It depends on the event, whether or not you can obviously like talk to those professionals and see if they can take your resume, but it really just depends. But all those trainings and whatnot, you're more than free to it. It's all free to attend. Let's see. And the internship application, when it asks, have you previously had an internship? Is that in regards to, it's not in regards to GEI, it's just for us to get an idea if you are currently, have an internship or are looking for one. So it's more of just an idea for us to know your availability. Do we have internships in the Bay Area? Currently, we are mostly working in the Los Angeles area. We do have remote opportunities. So if you are interested in an internship but are in the Bay Area, if it's in a remote opportunity, that you're able to do it. And how long do the internships last? It's usually the whole semester. So if you're doing one for the spring, probably would start in June, end in April or May. And then should we be living in LA County for more entry-level PA opportunities? Live in Riverside, but is it recommended to be living in LA for more opportunities? I'll let you answer.
I can answer that, yeah. I would say that as far as living in LA County, you don't necessarily have to. We do have a few participants who live outside the county line, but that's up to them. And as we've said before, like job placement isn't guaranteed. So I wouldn't say like you need to move to LA to find a PA gig, because it might be helpful, but that's like a personal decision. I think that's up to you. Some people do drive from like an hour away to these PA gigs that are in LA, because most of the PA job opportunities in LA do happen in the county line, so usually in the city. But I would say that's up to you if you would like to move.
Yeah, it's up to your discretion. And we always ask folks too that if they are relocating to let us know. So yeah. Last question, I think. Where are the remote internship opportunities posted? So we share weekly job opportunities through our job board, and on our job board is just a whole listing of all the positions that you can apply to. So they're all posted there. It should indicate on the job description whether or not it's a remote opportunity. So yeah, I think those are all the questions.
Sarah, just to clarify on that point, in the job board, is that something that folks need to have already been approved and in the system with you guys to access?
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, our job opportunities board is for our participants.
Got it. And I just want to throw out there to folks who are not able to do the scanning of the QR codes right now, that on our site, csuentertainment.com/opportunities, scroll down, you'll find GEI on there, and there's more information on how to apply there as well.
Yes, great. All right. I think those are all the questions. You all have. Thank you again for taking the time to chat with us, to let us know your interest in the program. Thank you, Haley, and the CSUEA team for having us. Again, feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about the program. And yeah, but we hope to see your applications.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We'll see you soon. And again, I just posted it in the chat here, csuentertainment.com/opportunities. And we'll be posting the recording of this on our site as well. So if you need to go back and look for more information or figure out other questions that have already been answered, it'll all be in there for you. So thank you so much for coming, and we will see you soon.